Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Hit the day of the month and everything. Coffee hour. Mm-mm. Do.
And the short will do for that one.
They're in space, man. I was watching this morning.
Reader for a minute here. I'll put the slide back down now.
I think they're working on the guidance system. I would fucking kill to work on the guidance system. I'll share with everybody that I'm live. A minute. I'll wait for everybody to get online. Shared it on my Facebook. I had a couple groups and tell them I'm online. See if anybody can come join me, ask me some good questions, hang out with me. Tell my monster buddies, monster builders. I'll tell SoCal that I'm online. What the hell? Watching space. Guys in outer space. I like that. Tell James I'm live. I'd like to talk to him. He's going to build a monster. That would be really cool to talk to him. He hit me up for some spacers yesterday. These are my spacers. There. As soon as I finish my coffee, I'll clean my desk and yeah, that should be a show. Clean my desk show. Okay, let's clean my desk. Missed the two I'm today. I'll be doing that one and this one. Trying it out. Let's clean some room. Right there, there's my spot. My one spot, my penny to lock it in. Won't be working on the 72. Won't be doing the 21 OKO. I won't be doing the 38, so let's get rid of the 38. Jar of goodies. That over there in the goodie jar. We won't need gloves, but I always like doing this one. Come here. Or this one. Rubber. Yeah, Brad. It's too early in the morning for that. See the eyes. See the eyes I did. Change the wire from that crap they sent from China to 7mm braided copper from Skip. He's in Ohio. $250 a foot. He's on eBay. I can call him directly. That is a ZL40. That's in the early Zetas. Put my beating hammer up. Tap a tap a tap. Screws. Marvelous screws. Here's a spring. Everybody's like, I want a 500-pound spring. That little tiny spring is more spring than. This one, I like this one. Yeah. Stick that in there. We got here. We got the 52 that goes on the 38. So there's that one. Over here. Drill box. These I use for my work. This fits in my impact, and it'll do from 3/16 to 1/2 inch. More screws in the screw bay. All right, we got a person. Hey. Good morning, Brad. I'm Colorado. Beautiful. Best state in the world, Colorado. It's not winter yet. You guys will really be seeing me freeze out here this winter. I love Colorado. I'm about 15 minutes away from downtown Denver in Littleton. That's where I'm at, James. Denver, Colorado, Littleton, Colorado. How about you're in Florida? I know that. Guy yesterday was asking me, when are you going to come out to Florida? I was like, send me some Disney World passes and I'm there. I have a grandson. There's nothing in the world more I'd like to do than take him to Disney World. For that, I would go and build any kind of engine. For a trip to Disney World with my grandson, that'd be the best in the world, man. How is Florida today? In Colorado, I love this time of year. It's when it's like close to 75 degrees. Fall is the best here. I mean, and you go up to the mountains and you see all the aspens changing colors. An aspen will do like 20 different colors on a year where it doesn't just go super cold one day. If it's like a light winter, it'll change different colors every day in aspen tree. Huh? Really? You'll get my grandson Disneyland tickets. I'm there, man. I'm so there. My daughter's telling me she wants to go to Disney. They're having a big discussion on where their holiday's going to be. And there's 2 places they want to go. My son-in-law, he wants to do Northern California in the Redwoods, which I love. And my daughter wants to take my grandson to Disney World. I'd like to take them to Disney World. For sure. It's the happiest place on earth. How could you go wrong on the happiest place on earth? I did like Roy Walt better than Walt Disney too. I'm more of a Roy Walt than Walt Disney, although I am the front man in this. But if I had somebody, I would definitely be the background. I would definitely be the Walt, the Roy Walt Disney, or the Roy Disney. For sure. The hidden brains, that'd be me. Making me some room. And I wanted to dig up a real Gretchen piston bearing. There's somewhere. There we go. I was using a PK80 and it was crap. There we go. These are out of eBay, 461. Still FS 461. And these fit our China dolls. I can show you the difference. Well, the weather here in Florida is hot. Okay. Aw. Yeah. I get to build a gas bike when he's 8 for it. That's the deal with my daughter. She makes a deal. She never busts it. These are the 461, and I wanted to compare it to the piece of crap. Here it is. This one yesterday. Piece of crap. See the difference? PKA FS461 MS. Same around. What I like about it is it's got bigger indents for the bearings to ride, and this piece of steel is much solider than this one. It looks thick on the inside, but if you look on the inside, it's not. The actual bearings are thicker than the pin bearings are thicker than the casing. That'd be awesome to go to Florida, though. I've only been to Florida twice, and I went to the crappiest part. I went to the Gulf of Mexico side, and I was a kid, so that's a chainsaw pin. Arrow goes towards the exhaust. Oh, 10. The hay. No, that's 49. I was like, just making sure. First, make sure it fits into the cylinder. And now that's a 50. Oh! That's a MS44. That's an not even an MS. This is a 044 piston with a 10 millimeter pin. No, that's a 12. That's a 12 millimeter. That's a MS440. That's it. And this is a millimeter bigger. I'll find another piston. There you go. Is that a pencil? Oh, yep, that's a Zeta pin. Zeta pins are a little bit longer than a TS400. Get this going and a little wrap down at the off of the skyscrapers. You won't live for very long if you be doing that, man. Yeah, I will. I'm just gonna go make a lot of noise. Hear me roar. That's what I want to do. Hear me freaking roar. These have been my biggest problem with monsters are the circlips. I've changed out the 12 millimeter to the circlip that's U-shaped or whatever you want to call it, and I feel safer with those. But these right here, I do not feel safe with at all. I've lost like, I don't know, half a dozen cylinders from these things. Let's go a little snapper in there. I always like to put it in there and just leave just enough of the tail. You guys see that? Like, let me turn on the bright light. Bright light. Let's see. There's a little tail right here. And the one I like is just to have the tail just hanging a tiny bit over your installer. This little hole right here is for you to install and remove the circlips. Take a little screwdriver, hold it down with your finger there, or this is how I do it. Sometimes I'll use a hemostat and then pop it in just like that. I love it when it freaking works. And then spin it, make sure we're in the groove. If it doesn't spin, it's not in the groove. And it spins. And I like to put them up and down. You can put your pins up or down, but you always want to put them either up or down or never sideways. I don't know why. That's just what I've been told. They like to tell me all kinds of crazy stuff. And during a snowstorm, I'll just make sure it's turning. Kind of caught in the lip right there. Now I want to shoot them across the room. I was like, yeah, that's a lot of fun. I don't like because it's not spinning. The clip's bigger. There it goes. Now it's spinning. See that? But see how the tail's too fucking long? See that? How the tail... I'll just get closer. That's what's freaking going on. I've had the chainsaw guys tell me to cut them, and now I see why. They're overlapping right there. That's what's fucking causing them to pop out. You never want your tail to overlap the bend on your circlip. Yep. That's what's going on. Let's check the other side. The other side didn't come out, so let's check. Okay. Nope. See how the tail, there's room from the tail to there. That tail is 33 millimeters shorter. What's going on there is that tail is going past your bend. What are you thinking about putting together? A 12-piece sprocket on my motor. You mean like a 12-tooth sprocket? Or are we talking idler gears and everything? I've been dying to like show how to put idle gears on a jack shaft, but to tell you the truth, I think it's more work than building a monster. All the jack shaft riders, if they just put idler gears in between, they wouldn't have to set their chain tension for 400 pounds of pressure and snap their chains left and right. Is my mic working good? I don't even have it plugged in. I must be running off of the mic on the webcam. A 12-piece sprocket. Okay, a 12-tooth on the front, and let's talk how you're going to make it fit. Here, I got one lying around. A 12-tooth is going to be bigger in here, and you're going to want to somehow make it so you can your primary. Okay, a 12 is going to hit here. Also here. This is a 10 hit right here. So you know 12 is going to hit there bigger. So what you're going to have to do is it's going to have to go all the way into your magneto compartment, and you're going to have to build a block or something to keep all that fucking grease going into your magneto. If you have a shitload, well, anytime, you can't run a chain next to your magneto because it'll fill it up, man. It will completely fill up your magneto. Let me pull it off. That 12 is going to sit here's the 10. The 12 is going to be roughly 20% bigger, 12, this is the 10, 12, 20% bigger. So this sprocket is going to be in there. So what you're going to have to do is notch a little notch, make sure to fit your chain and the sprocket, and seal it up somehow. So because that sprocket, when it turns, it's turning like this, right? It's throwing shit up into there. Or it's turning like this, it's throwing shit into there. It's going to turn like that. It's going to throw shit right in there off the top of the chain as it spins. So, other than the fact of some Dremel work, and sealing it up, it should be cake. And don't forget this side that you're going to have to do something with this too. This is going to have to be opened up too for a 12. I've seen people fit 11s. And this is a smaller sprocket. And what I was thinking with my older buddy is cut this off to right here where sprocket lies and weld the smaller sprocket. Everybody's asking me, well, why would you want a smaller sprocket? Corners. A smaller front sprocket will kick ass on corners. All right, a question. Can you ramjet? Of course you can ramjet. Problems with ramjetting? Getting your cylinder higher than your carburetor is your problem with ramjetting. But there is absolutely no reason why you can't ramjet. When I ramjet, I just cover the carburetor with my hand to build up suction because I like such a large carburetor. And once I can feel the suction with my hand as we're like starting it down the hill or something, I'll release it to start the engine. Once I feel like, I don't know, 5 or 6 pounds of suction. But yes, you can ramjet. That's how I did all of my first monsters, is because I can't weld. So I ramjetted them and put the exhaust in the rear so I could run chainsaw mufflers, because I can't weld. My buddy in Arizona, Cody Reeds, great welder, makes pipes. He does my welding. I'm waiting for some flanges. I'm hoping to goodness that everybody that's been showing me flanges will send me one. Thanks for the thumbs up, guys. I love it. Thank you. 85%. It means 85 people love me, 15 people hate me. I can live with those odds. Will it mess up your engine? What it's going to do is everybody in the house is going to be, I smell gas. That's what's going to happen. It's going to be like, I smell gas. Can you go outside in the garage and check it? That's what a ramjet will get you. What it is when the cylinder sits lower or sits higher than your carburetor, what's going to happen is you push the bike, piston's going to pump. It's going to move that fuel, whatever's left in the case and there, and then it's slowly going to drain through your intake, out your carburetor, and people's going to say, I smell gas. And yeah, what I would do to ramjet is I would put the carburetor in a bag, and the gas would, if there was any in the cylinder, would leak into the bag. Are they ramrodded? Ramjetted. That's funny, ramrodded. Yeah, I ramrodded my, that's funny. Right now, I have all of them turned around because I have one pipe that's front mounted, and I've been wanting to test them on every single engine I build. And so I flipped every single ramjet around. Whenever I re-up with Cody, he's going to build me a pipe that goes in the back, and I'll ramjet big time. My issue with ramjet is I have to figure out how to get the carburetor somehow higher than the cylinder without having too many bends or craziness going on or giant intakes. When you mount your motor, your cylinder is always tilted like this. See that downward of it? Your cylinder is always going to be tilted like this because they build the the mounts that way. All your mounts are going to be built to tilt the cylinder forward, to make the intake be a downward motion and not flow the gas back through your carburetor. And then if you flip it over, you'll see just the opposite, that your carburetor is now a drain for your cylinder if you use ramjet. So what you would need to do is you need to somehow either, one, fix your mount, or two, build something that goes up like a snorkel or some crap. But what'd be best would be fix your mount. If you can get your motor to sit like that, or even like that a little bit, ramjet would kick ass. But the way it sits now like that, it's a leaker. It's definitely going to leak on your wheel. But I love being able to, you know, cup the carb in the front because it's right there, and you cup it right in the front. And that's really the best thing about ramjetting is you can get to the carburetor. You know, like if you're choking or something, you're like this, you know, trying to figure out on your bike, you're like down here trying to find the carburetor or the choke and all that. If it's ramjetted, you can just use your hand and pop right in front of the intake to the carburetor. But yeah, James, send me some pictures of you getting a 12 in, and take your time and build this out, or chop this out to fit the 12, and put the chain onto the your sprocket. When I suggest you work with your Dremel, have the clutch shaft in here with the sprocket and the chain. Just make you a little chain that fits around the sprocket with a master link, and just spin it and make sure it's not going to hit here. And what you want is just enough room to clear the chain, and seal it so it doesn't leak. Ramrodded. I love that. Did you ramrod that bike? Twice. Twice I ramrodded that baby. Twice, Will. Thanks for joining, Will. How's your day? How's life treating you? Are you getting enough time with your hobby? I hope so. I hope everybody's like giving you more time with your hobby. Oh, I wanted to cut that damn tail off. Son of a... This side. Oh, it popped in. It's not the tail. Sweet. Okay. Hallucinating a little bit sometimes. Oh no, that's the one. Not hallucinating. It's real. Yep, the tail's too long. Okay, how I pop them. I like to clamp this on so I don't lose them. I hate it when I lose them. Pokies. I like to poke myself. It's fun. It's great. Okay, here's my too long circlip. Just gonna go grab my. No, they're locked. Locked. Lock. Keys are upstairs too. Son of a. Okay. Yeah, let's have some fun. No, Brad, no. Yes. Let's work some dangerous tools Let's put it in the dark. See some sparks or something, maybe. Glasses on. Firing up ours. Yeah. Wire cutters would be better, but for ratings, large power tools. Seems like that when I use the larger power tools, the better the ratings. What's your question, Will? Oh, yeah, monkey see, monkey do. You want a book? Okay. Eventually, I want to write a book. When I find a writer that will do it for me and just listen to what I say would be the best. But on Facebook, a buddy in California just wrote a book, and he's asking for donations. I could give you a link to that. My favorite book is Motorcycle Tuner's Handbook, two-stroke. That's my favorite book. The thing about books is we only use the first chapter. I mean, everything else is dedicated to motorcycles. The only books for us are so simple and no information useful to us. Most books, we crack it open. The first basic knowledge we can use a little bit of the carburetor tuning, and that's about it in a book. Everything else in a book, I've read hundreds and hundreds of books, and the first chapter or two is associated with us, and then the rest of the book isn't. I mean, everybody else's magneto is going to be different, everybody else's CDI system is going to be different, and all that. And the books, but one book, I haven't read it, but he wrote one and he's asking for donations, and he's on Facebook and he's on my Monster Builders. He's Chaos Motorbikes. He's the one that drew my logo for Monster Builder, and a talented artist. Instead of writing books, he should be an artist. But that's just my opinion. I haven't read his book, but I do back it and endorse it because I know that he's been around forever, just like me, and he dedicates all his time to gas bikes, just like me. And he just wrote a book. And Chaos Motorbikes, California. Go to Monster Builders and look for it, or anywhere on Facebook, Chaos Motorbikes. And I think he's asking for a $6 or $7 donation for his book. And that could help. What I suggest for learning about engines is just split one. You split a case, you'll learn more about that engine than any book, any video, any YouTube, anything. You take this case, pop this out, you take this sprocket off, there'll be a Woodruff key on it and a one nut holding it on, and then you will, after the Woodruff key, you'll tap it out. This will come out as one assembly, there is 3 screws down here, 2 screws over here, 2 screws over here, 1 here, and your magnet and your magneto. You take those apart and look at the 2 parts, and you'll learn more about 2-strokes than anything else. And then after you figure out the case, watch the piston go up and down. Just watch it. Just slowly, in the winter, just slowly turn it. Take the case like here. Watch the piston go down. Look through the intake. Look through the exhaust. Slowly raise it up, and in your mind, see what port is opening and what port is closing. As the intake closes, what you're building up is compression. Once it passes, right here is your compression change right here. When it gets past all the transfers. Once the cylinder's in the transfer, then watch your magnet. Once the cylinder, and then once it hits top dead, bam, you'll see the fire of when it fires, the magnet will go free. Bam. When that magnet goes free and when all that force all of a sudden turns, that means that it's going to fire the CDI. It's going to trigger the CDI. When you turn the crank and all of a sudden it's loose and then goes further, that's the magnet releasing all the force that of the magnetic field it's generating. So the fact that bearings on the gear clutch broke, chances are it might have fallen out. Chances are it gave you some shit bearings with zinc freaking plated bearings. Shit bearings, I call them. They call them 6202 ZZ bearings. I call them shit. That's what I call them. And every time I open an engine and I see ZZ bearings in the clutch, I'm pissed. But not as pissed as when they put ZZs on the front and leave the zinc coated sleeves in there. Those bearings will get so hot at 10K they will explode. And I've had people so mad at me for saying that. But what's cool about a Monster is I rode one home 5 miles and it sounded like popcorn inside with the bearings. It was going. When I got home and pulled the bearing, there was like 5 bearings missing that weren't in the case. That means that the bearing somehow either crushed up, which I know it can't in aluminum because it would just go through it because bearings are much harder. But it means that it went all the way up into the intake, and as the drop, there's a time in your case when the plunger's up and coming back down that there's actually less atmospheric pressure inside your cylinder than the outside. So it free falls into the intake, meaning it goes. Then the intake, if it's not always sucking, it'll blow out, or the exhaust, it'll blow out the exhaust. But on the intake side, it can actually come out your carburetor. But as I was going home, it was going dinga 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 dinga, sounding like popcorn. But yes, a bearing, that means those fuckheads fucking put ZZ bearings in your case. And it's easy to tell ZZ bearings. Let's talk about ZZ bearings. Okay. These are RB bearings. They're blue. They're from China. And RBs are some of the best Chinese bearings to make. The bearings you want are Portugal, France, America, anything Italian. I mean, they don't really make bearings, but you see Italian, it's good. I can tell you that. Nobody loves a scooter like an Italian. For parts, Italians make the best scooter parts in the world. But a bearing, you do not want this to be a zinc bearing right there. Zinc is the cheapest material known to man for metal. And what they're doing, zinc is what pennies are made out of. What they're doing is they're giving you a cheap, shitty bearing. How do you tell a good bearing from a bad bearing? Besides the price. Well, a good bearing will spin perfect. No, no action, no side to side motion. But it's on a small bearing like this. How you can tell a cheap bearing is that it have a zinc plate instead of a good rubber plate. And usually the black ones are a little bit better than metal. Metal's the worst, black's better, blue's better, red better. Usually they color them just for color code when they're selling them to their suppliers to tell them the different good kind. But for China, I like RB. Here in America, I like SKFs. SKF's a great bearing, and if I have time to wait and I'm building something special for somebody that I just want to make that engine spin really good, I'll put FAG bearings in, which are made in Portugal. They're usually taking a month to get from Turkey. FAG bearings are really, really, so are SKFs. SKFs, I pay like $5 for them, and they are awesome. On that side, I do not want to forget to put this in. Sucks when I forget to put it in. I can always tell the difference. How can you tell whether you just left it out or it broke? If it breaks or comes out, here's where it's going to catch, right there, and it's going to leave marks like this. Broken circlip. If you look at a piston and you see a straight line like that on it, that means that circlip came out. That means the tail could have been too long or it's a piece of crap, one or the other. Stupid Z bearings. You guys got me started on the Z bearings all day. I'll be thinking, fucking Z bearings. I want to call Matt at BMW right now. He sent me Z bearings on my ZL, my Zeta. I'm still pissed about that, man. That's where the bearings came from that I blew up at 10K. I was like, Matt don't even talk to me anymore ever since I'm not in the mocking anymore. I can't believe he's friends with me. I'm best friends with my biggest competition that lies and cheats about me. Okay, whatever. If I was to buy a stock engine and change out the parts, what would it be and how much do you think it would cost? I buy, for a TS400, I buy that from Zane Smith on Facebook for $69. I usually leave the bearings in because his bearings on that California Motors I like. If I'm building a 38 or MS660, on the MS660, I'm doing the MZ stroker with a 44 millimeter stroke on it, but the longest stroke you could absolutely find is better. That's the only reason I'm using it is because it's the longest stroke I can find. Things I like to change. Mostly I like to clean the parts up. A lot of the parts on a China doll, you got to remember, there's only 4 places in the world you can buy them. Europe, USA, Canada, and Australia. And everybody else in the world has to get them from there. If you're in Asia, you have to get them in Australia or America. And they're shipping them from China to America. And the Americans are shipping them back to Asia. I mean, before they do that, they're cleaning up the engines and everything. But it's just funny how the whole world, they don't have motorized bikes. That there's only a couple countries in the world. The UK have them through Europe. And I really like talking to the UK guys. They're pretty cool accents. Oh, cool, James. Yeah. And take your time and just work it and try to remove the least amount. Here's your rim. This is how much room you're going to have. Sprockets are going to come here. Try and leave as much as you can to hold the case together, but enough to clear and not hit the chain, and somehow to keep all that shit from the chain getting into your magnet. So you want to build like a dental block or something, right? Like here. Anything magnetic, you want something non-magnetic here, so it doesn't pull it up against the magnet when it's creating a lot of magnetic force field. The 12 is going to be cool though. I think you'll like it. I live in the mountains, so a 12 isn't feasible for me, but these are. I go down to a 30 on these mountains. It's funny, all the other China doll riders are like, how are you running a 30? Bigger engine. It's like, you weigh like 200 pounds. Bigger engine. Oh, if I only weighed 100 pounds, I would never have to do any of this shit. I weighed 100 pounds, I could make a China doll go fast. But I weigh 200 pounds, so that thing is only going to go 20 little miles an hour, 20 something miles an hour. And it's like, whee! I feel like that pig in the commercial when I ride a China doll now. You know, the pig that has the little windmill and hangs out the window, and you're not going very fast, but the pig's having fun. That's what I feel about a China doll now. When I tune somebody's China doll up, I go ride it, and it makes me laugh every time. I'm like, wee, this is so fast. Woo, 30 miles an hour. Oh. So, if you don't mind me asking, what made you separate from the other team you were in? I wasn't on a team, I was in the mafia, and that bastard kicked me out for teaching people how to build. That he didn't want anybody else to know how to build a chainsaw cylinder, or he didn't want anybody else to know how to make a bike fast. And I feel that all this information should be available for anybody, that it shouldn't be hidden. And it looks like my dog's ready for my show to be over. We're at 52 minutes. Thanks for joining, guys. Love you guys. My dog's barking for his dog walk. But yeah, I was excommunicated, thrown out, cast away. They did lots of stuff to me, hate mail, everything. You know, but I'm going to get off of it. Will the pig wee? Yeah. Wee! That's what I do when I ride the China doll. I'm like, wee! I haven't got one of those fan things or windmills to rhino with. Yeah. So I videoed a China doll with one. And like that really pissed off a lot of China doll riders. I mean, they were mad at me. I was like, the hate mail was a lot that day. But I'm going to get off, and thanks. I'll be here tomorrow, maybe tonight if I get it going. And I'll try and get the 400 on with the Cody pipe. And I'm going to see what it'll do with the Cody pipe on it. Thanks for tuning in. Love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll try and get that spacer plates. I will get those spacer plates in the mail to you, James.